The PL-89 calendar is a work that I've been involved with for the past 11 years. This is the PL-89 calendar. I started working on it in late August or September of 2012, and it's a calendar that takes into consideration the Sun, the Moon, planet Mercury, and the Julian calendar. And it marks a period of 90 days. It's 8 by 10, and then under this is another additional 8, and depending on the type of month it could be up until 10. So if it's 88 days, and that according to the information that's published out there about the planet Mercury, and that's what I'm going with. So whatever the case may be, whether it's accurate or not, there's still a period of 88 days. But the published scientific data about the planet Mercury, if you look anywhere, whether Wikipedia or any of the published data, is that Mercury revolves around the Sun, and now with this, the flat Earth theory is also comes into question. Where's planet Mercury in this equation? But in any case, we only have to know that Mercury has a relation to 88 or 87 point something days, Earth days, around the Sun, and 87 is like about 88, which is very close to 90, which is 90 days. Now, what is the purpose of this calendar? What does it do? Well, this is the theory that I'm working with, and this is what it's supposed to do. And I can also explain what it has done already. What it has done already is provide a data flow, a data management system that is able to correlate different things into one thing. In a way, you can see it as a theory of everything that's workable on a practical level, and you're plugging in whatever data you have into this theory of everything, and as it goes through it, it processes the data according to its algorithm, according to its pattern, according to its wisdom. And the reason why it has wisdom is because it doesn't come from me. It's based on verses in the Bible, in the Word of God, in the Torah. And there's a sequence of numbers that goes in a particular pattern, and they mark periods of time, weeks. And these weeks are 8-day weeks, as opposed to our 7-day weeks. 8, week 2 is 16, week 3 is 24, week 4 is 32, 40, etc. And there's two 40-day so-called months. The basis of this is planet Mercury, or the so-called planet Mercury. Again, because it doesn't have to even exist. Mercury doesn't actually literally have to exist in order for this calendar to be effective. Even if Mercury is just a fantasy and it never existed, it doesn't matter, because if we just said something was in the sky that went 88 days, that's fine with me. You could just say Mercury could just be synonymous with 88 days. Okay? But in this system, numbers are very important and the meaning is very important. Because if I said Mercury, I could be saying simultaneously Eldad and Medad. Why? How do you get from Mercury to Eldad and Medad? In the Bible, in the book of Numbers, when they were prophesying outside the camp, and Joshua said to make them be quiet, and Moses said he wishes that everyone would prophesy. Well, they were prophesying. And there's an element of this work that It's connected to prophecy. Not that I'm a prophet, but that there's a lot of information on the world that's given, and in the holy texts, in the holy books of Torah, of the Kabbalistic books or the Talmud or something. It says that in the end days that many people will be prophets. Prophecy, the spirit of prophecy, will be everywhere. But Eldad and Medad, how do you get from Eldad and Medad from Mercury? Well, in English gematria, Mercury is 103, and Eldad, Umedad with a vav, is 103. So, in this system, you can connect English gematria to Hebrew gematria, and there's actually a very nice synergy with that, and that's really the purpose of it, of its being taking into consideration the sun and the moon, because the sun represents English, and the moon represents Hebrew for obvious reasons. The sun would be the solar or the secular or the 365-day calendar, or you could even say Asaph calendar, because it represents the Western world. And then you have the moon, of course, that's the Hebrew. I mean, even Islam goes by the moon. But in this case, I didn't do too much research on the Islamic calendar, although it's not out of the question, but I haven't seen an energetic reason for it yet. But basically, you have the sun, the moon, and you have Mercury. Mercury is that mediation. It's like the transmitter. It sort of balances things. But then you have the Julian calendar as well. Now we just started. This 90-day period is very significant in Jewish law, and for a few reasons. We find it in the book of Exodus, chapter 2, when Yocheved hides Moses because in Egypt they were killing the baby boys. And it says she hid him for 3 months. It's Beneu Shlosha Yerachim. 3 months is 90 days, which is a revolution, an orbit of Mercury, so-called Mercury. So that 90 days would point to this Mercury year. So like Moses could be synonymous with now a Mercury year, which means a Redeemer, and Redeemer is a Goel in Hebrew, and Goel is 40. Why is Goel 40? Because Goel is Gematria 40. Gimel plus Aleph is 4, plus Vav is 10, plus Lamed is 30. So 30 plus 10 is 40. So yeah, and 40 is a massive number in this. You have two 40-day months. It's 40 and 80. And then there's the invisible 80. To make 88 days, there's a line here that's invisible. But basically you have 40 and 40. And Moses was 40 when he was, as the story goes, when he left Egypt after he killed the Egyptian. He had to leave it around age 40. And he did the redemption story happened at age 80, and he passed away at 120. So we see a pattern of 40s, and this is based on 40, on two ways, maybe more than two ways, but for now 2 ways. Why? Because you have two 40-day months, 40, and then this makes 80, and then you have the equator or the cutoff point. It's like a combination lock. It goes up until 40, so it goes 8 plus 17 plus 25 plus 34, and then 34 plus 8 is not 42. It cuts off at 40, so it goes to 2 again, just like a combination lock. And there's a reason for that, but time won't permit me to go through that. So basically, you have these weeks, and you have 40. What else do you have? Okay, is there anything else? There's a lot more stuff, but it's not anything coming to mind right now, so I might stop it soon. Anything more? Oh yeah, the seasons are like the 90 days are also the seasons. Every 90 days, each quarter of the year, basically. Tammuz, but it's not exactly 90 because in the Hebrew, in the moon, a lot of days are 29 days. So if you go through each Tekufa, each season, like Tammuz, right now we're in Tishrei. We just started Tishrei, so we're actually right here on the calendar. We're in Tishrei 4, so we just started it. In Tishrei, this is focused on the Hebrew, but as we hit Tevis, it goes to the Gregorian. And then to Nisan, it goes back to the Hebrew. And then as we go into Tammuz, it goes back into the Gregorian. So Tevis and Tammuz are like Esav. And Nisan and Tishrei are like Yaakov. And there's more reasons for it, but I think that's enough for now. And until next time.